Alright, let's show you how to set up the inside of the camper. So we're on the inside. The scenario is we have this camper level, the stabilizing jacks are down, and so we're ready to go, and we have the power hooked up and we have water coming into the camper. So let's go ahead and continue the inside setup. When you first walk in the door here, you're going to find behind this door the master control station. The first thing that we're going to want to do with our stabilized camper is let's go ahead and put all the slide outs out. There's 3 slide outs, one in the front and then 2 opposing slide outs in the back. This is labeled slide out here, also extend. You're going to know when it's fully extended when you hear some clicks. When you hear those clicks, you're fully extended. Let's go ahead and extend the slide outs in the back. So now we're in the back bedroom here. The 2 slide outs switches are right here. I have them labeled nicely. This slide out's for that side, the top slide out's for the passenger side. So we'll go ahead and extend. Before you extend, just one note here. You have a lot of doors on the back side of the camper. Before you extend out, make sure all these doors haven't opened up during travel. Otherwise, this molding can catch the doorknobs and rip the drawers and doors out. So again, before putting the slide outs out, make sure your kitchen cabinet or the cabinetries, all the doors are closed. Alright, all the slide outs are out. Let's go back to the front here. Alright, on this side here, this is the awning control. This is an electric awning. And to use the awning, just completely, I'm not going to retract it fully out, but you'll know when it's fully out and taut. That's the position you want it to be in. Just a note with awnings, make sure you don't keep them out overnight or with any weather, because any awning damage, or if it's missing or damaged whatsoever, means you own it. They're not that cheap to fix, and also to note, any insurance won't cover awning damage. So use it with caution. Underneath the awning there are porch lights. I got it labeled here. There's some LED porch lights, pretty cool. This is for light switches. They don't run all the light switches, just the first few in the entry in the kitchen here. And then we have master station control here that will show the levels of the battery, the fresh tank, black tank, and both of the gray tanks. Just click on them and you'll see empty to full. These are all labeled nicely here for you, but just to go through all these different switches. The farthest one to the left is for the water pump. Again, we only need the water pump if you're using the freshwater tank and you don't have a water source on site. So to turn the water pump on, you just flip the switch over. This unit has two different types of ways to heat the water heater. There's LP gas labeled here. It's the middle one, and then the electric unit. We'll have you just use the LP one unless you got a good 50 amp service, and you can turn on the electric. The thing to note is, before you turn on the water heater, make sure that you have your water source is hooked up or your pump is on, and then that you also have some water coming out of your faucets. Test that out before you turn the heater on. You can burn out the electric element very easily. So to turn the water heater on, just flip like that. Just a note, at the entry door here we have a fire extinguisher. Here we have a carbon monoxide detector and a LP gas detector, and those can be sensitive with bug spray. But if you hear that thing alarming, just get out and figure out where the source is happening. Also on the ceiling here in the kitchen we have a smoke detector. Let's take a look at the fuse panel. And I have it set up for winter here. When we do orientation, I'm going to go through and ask you some questions on how you're going to be set up and what type of power source that you have. So here in the main is the 50 amp main breaker. Farthest one to the left is for the power converter, which will convert DC to AC. The second one here, 15 amp, is all the outlets. It's not the GFCI outlets, but just all other convenience outlets. Third one in here is for the air conditioning unit. I have that currently off, but that would be in an on position for you. This breaker will be the GFCI outlets in both refrigerators. This breaker right here will keep off. It's for a second air conditioning. There's only a single beefy air conditioner, which will keep it plenty cool in here for the hottest of days. So that one will keep off. Second to last is for the electric water heater. So to use the electric water heater, this switch would need to be on, and then also at the master control station. Both switches would need to be on to get electric water heat. Final breaker here is for the microwave. So when I'm set up here, I just keep the refrigerators unplugged, just not to waste power here when it's just sitting in storage. So let's, since we're here, let's just go over the stove real quick. This is just a cover that comes off, and just kind of like your stove at home, there is an auto igniter. If that doesn't spark, just use a match light. For your oven, underneath here is a pilot that will need to be lit so if you're going to do any baking, you will need to light the pilot there. Microwave, self-explanatory. Range hood here, just a note, is there's an outside flap that needs to be open to let the air draw out. So make sure that flap is open when using the range hood, and make sure it's closed for travel. Here we have the refrigerator. Basically, you just need to keep this on the auto setting if you are plugged into the 2AC. It's best not to run out all the LP gas, but if you're hooked up to your AC source, or even if you're in travel, you can turn it to auto here and it'll be running on gas if you're not hooked to an electric supply. Alright, so for the TV, here's the crank handle to put the antenna up. You can find some good HD channels out there. I didn't crank it all the way up there, but just to show you where the handle is. Inside the cabinet, you'll find a couple remote controls, one for the TV and one for the AM/FM CD, DVD player all in one. Just to note, with the speaker system here, you can select A, B, and C. One of these is for the outdoor, so make sure you're not blasting out your neighbors if you don't want that on. For the outside speakers, you set up the different inputs for the TV. I believe it's AV if you're going to be watching a DVD through the system, and then do a air channel scan to find all the stations that you can out there, and you can do that all through the remote control with the input button, and just change channels. Also your input to change it over to a CD player. This is the remote control for the radio system there. Just to show you something pretty cool, this TV does swivel over to the master. You can pull that pin out. You do have to make sure your doors are closed. And you can see these doors are buttoned for travel. So make sure these doors get reattached before traveling. But if you want to watch some TV in your master, go ahead and you can flip that around. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you the HVAC system. On the wall here is the thermostat that controls heating and cooling in the fan. Pretty self-explanatory here. If you want the AC unit, just flip the switch all the way over to cool, then the fan off, and then heat. And adjust the desired temperature, and you can basically just keep the fan on the auto system, and it'll turn on when you need to cool or heat. Just a note, up in the ceiling is for the cooling and the fan ducts. Here on the bottom is the registers. All the heat comes from the floor. All right, let's go ahead and come inside the bathroom here. I'll show you. Let me turn the light switch on, kind of behind you here where my left hand is. There's two switches over here. There's a fan. You'd want to raise this up a little bit. Get some of that unfresh air out. And the other one's a light switch. Let me show you real quick the RV toilet that you have here. You'll see where my foot is on the pedestal. If you push down just a little bit, and I don't have a water source in here right now, but if you push down just a little bit, it's going to fill the bowl. If you push all the way down, it's going to release all the waste down into the black water tank. So to set your camper up, it's pretty easy. Set up the black water tank. You have these pouches available for you, probably underneath the sink cupboard, and just drop one of these in, fill up the bowl a couple times, and just put that into flush it down to the black water tank, and that's you're all set up, ready to go.